Joining us again tonight is National Geographic editor Kristen Romey. Kristen, thanks for taking the time again. You and your team reported late today that life-saving equipment that could help the search is caught up in red tape. Can you expand on that for us?
Yes, I spoke to the Explorers Club today. They have two members actually on this vessel, and they have noted that since Monday, they have been reaching out to U.S. authorities and saying that there is a concern about how to retrieve this vessel if they could find it. You have to remember that the Titan is a carbon fiber composite sub. This is a new situation that we're dealing with. These are not steel subs that we, usually have going down to Titanic. And the equipment that is being brought in, there is concerns that it would actually damage the hull of the submersible if there are indeed people still alive on it.
So could the equipment they were telling you about be delivered now if there was no red tape?
Well, it's going to take at least 16 hours, to get it out. And so the question, again, it's a matter of time. And everybody's talking about this kind of, tomorrow morning, the air runs out. Unfortunately, it's not an immediate process. The air will, the oxygen levels will continue to deplete. And people, it's going to be a slow process. So the Explorers Club members are confident that there is still time, if these people are still alive, to get assets out there to raise the submersible without damaging it in the process. Yeah, and you talk about the oxygen levels. Isn't it true that right now the crew would need to sort of be rescued now? I mean, we're coming down to this window, right? Right. And there's a lot of variables here, too, about, how much air was exactly available when the sub went down, and also what the crew is, if they are still present with us, what they are doing to conserve that air. We know there was a famous sub rescue in 1973 with the Pisces III, where the crew members were rescued after nearly 80 hours. And you have to be very conscious about how you consume your air and what you do in the submersible to reduce the amount of oxygen that you are consuming. We heard in Gio's story what the Coast Guard had to say about the banging noises we have been hearing about for about the last, 48 hours. What kind of stock do you put in the noises that have been heard? Well, I think the fact that they are actually talking about it means that there may be some legitimacy to it. I have to be quite frank, when I first heard this news, I was skeptical because, water allows noise to travel very, very easily. And it's sometimes very difficult, especially at those depths, to determine where those noises are coming from. But I am getting increasing information from sources that, lend me to lead that this is, a legitimate observation and a legitimate concern, and something that is kind of firing up search and rescue efforts to zero in on a specific area. Members of a committee specializing in submersibles expressed, and we'll quote this for you, unanimous concern regarding the development of Titan. That was in a 2018 letter addressed to the CEO of OceanGate. The letter was obtained by the New York Times, and it was later authenticated by ABC News. The question I have for you is, do these underwater submersibles need certifications, or is this kind of the Wild West of sorts? It's not a Wild West, because most submersibles, most companies that build these, they do work with these licensing agencies, either out of the U.S. or Europe. I mean, granted, there is no DMV for subs in submersibles. It's more of a voluntary thing. But, these groups were actually, reaching out to OceanGate and saying, look, let us work with you to ensure that this sub meets our standards. And, from OceanGate was kind of like, these are regulations that are keeping us from innovating. But I will tell you that most of the industry would ensure that their materials are certified by these agencies. National Geographic editor Kristen Romey, thanks so much again for your time. Thank you, Phil.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.